Welcome to another episode of Workforce Workshop, where we unpack the biggest challenges and trends shaping today's job market and business landscape. I'm your host, Shiraz Kelly, and today we're diving into a timely and critical topic: workforce policy uncertainty and how political instability affects hiring and investment. As we move closer to the 2024 elections, political debates are heating up, and with them come questions about policies that could dramatically reshape the job market. From healthcare reform to minimum wage increases, immigration laws, and corporate tax policies, the workforce is in flux. Today we'll explore how uncertainty around these political shifts impacts businesses, hiring practices, and long-term investments in the workforce. This isn't just about politics, it's about the real-world effects these decisions or indecisions have on your job, your company, and the broader economy. So whether you're a business owner, a job seeker, or an employee looking for security in these uncertain times, this episode is for you. What is workforce policy uncertainty? First, let's define what we mean by workforce policy uncertainty. In simple terms, it refers to a situation where businesses and workers face uncertainty about future government policies related to employment, taxes, and the economy. When politicians can't agree, or when laws are in a state of flux, it becomes difficult for businesses to plan long-term strategies. Think of it like driving in a fog. When you can't clearly see what's ahead, you tend to slow down, hesitate, or make erratic decisions. The same thing happens in the workforce. Companies become hesitant to hire new employees, invest in expanding their operations, or commit to long-term projects if they're unsure how government policies might affect them down the road. The political instability, like we've been seeing in recent years with polarized government and upcoming elections, adds another layer of complexity. When companies are unsure about future regulations or policies, be it around labor, taxes, or international trade, it can lead to a stall in growth. And this has a direct impact on jobs and economic investment. But what does this actually look like in practice? Let's dive deeper into the real-world consequences. The hiring freeze, why uncertainty leads to caution. One of the most immediate effects of workforce policy uncertainty is that businesses put the brakes on hiring. Now, you might be asking, why is that? Well, let's say you're a business owner and you hear politicians debating changes to corporate tax rates. If those rates could go up significantly after the next election, you might hold off on expanding your workforce because you don't know how much you'll be taxed in the future. And it's not just tax rates. Healthcare regulations, immigration laws, and labor laws could all change, creating a ripple effect across industries. For many businesses, especially small to mid-sized companies, labor is one of the most significant expenses. Hiring new employees is a long-term commitment, with training, onboarding, and benefits costs added on top of salaries. If there's uncertainty about whether the rules governing healthcare or wage requirements might change, it becomes a gamble to bring on more workers. So, what do companies do instead? They either delay hiring or they look for ways to fill gaps with temporary or gig workers. This leads to an increase in precarious employment where workers aren't necessarily receiving full benefits, stability, or job security. The bottom line, when policy uncertainty is high, businesses are less likely to take risks. This has a direct effect on the workforce, particularly for job seekers, who may find fewer permanent opportunities available. Political instability and its impact on investments. Hiring isn't the only area affected by policy uncertainty. Business investment also takes a hit. Let me give you an example. Imagine a manufacturing company that's considering building a new facility in the US. The decision to make such a large investment isn't made lightly. They have to think about labor costs, taxes, and even potential tariffs on imported materials. Now, add in the uncertainty surrounding upcoming elections. What if the next administration changes the tax code or there's a shift in trade policies? Suddenly, that investment becomes riskier. What we're seeing, especially in key sectors like energy, healthcare, and tech, is companies delaying or downsizing their capital expenditures. Why invest millions or even billions in infrastructure, R&D, or new projects if the rules of the game might change in a few months or a year? For the broader economy, this is a significant problem. Investments fuel growth. They lead to more jobs, innovation, and economic expansion. But when businesses pull back on their investments, that growth stalls. There's also the issue of foreign investment. Political instability and policy uncertainty can deter international companies from investing in US operations. If international businesses perceive the US as an unstable environment for long-term investment, they might take their capital elsewhere, to countries with more predictable political climates. The role of policy in shaping workforce strategy. Now let's shift gears and talk about the kinds of policies that are creating the most uncertainty in the workforce right now. One hot topic is the debate around the federal minimum wage. Some lawmakers are pushing for significant increases, while others are advocating for a more gradual rise. This back and forth creates anxiety for both employees and businesses. If you're a small business owner and you're unsure whether the minimum wage will jump from $7.25 to $15 an hour, it's hard to plan ahead. On the flip side, workers are left wondering when or if their pay will rise to match the cost of living. Another area of uncertainty is healthcare policy. With debates over whether to expand or repeal parts of the Affordable Care Act, companies face uncertainty around the cost of providing employee health benefits. The question of whether future administrations will support universal health care or leave it to the private sector creates a cloudy outlook for employers. Immigration policies are another big factor. Many industries like agriculture, tech, and healthcare depend heavily on immigrant labor. When immigration laws are in a state of flux, businesses that rely on foreign talent hesitate to invest in training or recruitment. These policy debates may seem abstract, but they have a very real impact on companies' bottom lines and on the lives of workers. Navigating workforce policy uncertainty. So what can businesses and workers do in the face of such uncertainty? For businesses, it's all about agility. Companies that are able to adapt quickly to changes in policy will fare better. This might mean diversifying their workforce, investing in automation, or finding new ways to streamline operations. Building a flexible, resilient workforce strategy will help mitigate the risks posed by political uncertainty. For workers, it's about staying informed and upskilling. The more adaptable you are, the better you'll weather these uncertainties. Look for ways to stay competitive in your field, whether that's through further education, certifications, or expanding your skill set. Workers who can pivot into in-demand roles or industries will be in a stronger position regardless of what policy changes may come. Lastly, it's crucial for both businesses and workers to engage in advocacy. Don't underestimate the power of your voice. Whether it's through industry associations, unions, or direct communication with lawmakers, businesses and workers alike have the opportunity to shape the policies that affect them. As we head into the 2024 elections, it's clear that workforce policy uncertainty will continue to be a major issue affecting hiring, investments, and the overall economic landscape. Whether you're a business leader trying to plan for the future or an employee seeking job security, staying agile and informed will be key. That's it for today's episode of Workforce Workshop. I hope you found our discussion on workforce policy uncertainty useful as we all navigate these unpredictable times. Be sure to subscribe for more insights on workforce trends and stay tuned for upcoming episodes where we'll continue exploring the challenges and opportunities shaping today's labor market. Thanks for listening. I'm Chiraz Kelly, and I'll see you next time on Workforce Workshop. Stay sharp and stay ahead of the curve.